Hey, it's Tom here. I want to show you something really neat. I'm in Boston's Back Bay neighborhood, and this is the house that I want to show you. This is known as the Burrage house. Really Burrage Mansion when you think about it. Built in 1901 for Albert Burrage. Cost about $200,000 at the time to build. I checked the inflation adjustment at $6.4 million today. So this property right here, 7,000 square feet, and it's the only fully executed chateau style property in all of Boston. So it's a unique one. It's a one of a kind. This is the neighborhood right here. This is Back Bay. Back Bay is called Back Bay because it's filled in land. It used to be a tidal swamp. And that is also why it's the only part of the city that has a grid network of streets. Anybody who's spent any time in Boston knows that there is absolutely no grid other than this area right here. So take a look at this here. Just a beautiful, gorgeous building. Today, it's condos, luxury condos. One of them was actually owned by Tom Brady at one point. Now, Charles Brigham was the architect who built this. Charles Brigham built Museum of Fine Arts. He built the first church scientist, which is the Christian Science headquarters, and a number of other famous properties. He would collaborate with Albert Burrage on building a children's hospital out on Bumpkin Island in Boston Harbor. Now it's a ruin today, but apparently it was kind of a unique property in how it was built. So let's head out to Bumpkin and see what we can find. So it's a rainy July day. It's been rainy all July actually this year. But we're gonna go out to Bumpkin Island, which is right over that way. And we're gonna go check out those ruins. So there's Bumpkin, about a half a mile or so. So we're coming up on Bumpkin Island. That's it right there. These islands, this one right here, Bumpkin, Grape, Slate, and over there, Peddix Island. These are actually drumlins. These are left over from the ice sheet that came over, well, I don't know, like 12,000 years ago or something like that. And these bits of land were left behind. It's a drumlin field, all of Boston Harbor. And I was reading about it. It turns out there's only 3 drumlin fields like this in the world, so we're unique. A drumlin, the top part of it faces a certain direction that the ice sheet went, and there's a trailing end, and you can see right here this land, this bit of sandbar here. This bit of sandbar actually connects with the mainland of Hull every 6.5 hours or so. And they call this a tombolo. It's a great word. Never saw that word before. Tombolo. That is the geological term for this bit of land. And over there, Peddix Island, those 2 humps that you see, to the left, it actually connects to another island and another. And it's actually one big island connected by a tombolo. So there's the geology lesson for the day. around Bumpkin Island. We made it. It wasn't really far. That's where we came from. And a little bit of a panoramic. Even though it's a kind of rainy, cloudy day, it's still really, really pretty. And in the distance over there, there'll be a flashing light any second now. There it is. That's Boston Light. And in the distance is Grape and Slate. And there's the Tumbolo. Low tide is coming up, so this will be completely out of the water and it will connect to the mainland. So this would not be an ideal place for the zombie apocalypse to hide out. They'll make their way across. Alright, so let's explore the interior and find the ruins. So this is, I guess, an old road that must have connected up to the hospital at one time. I read that the hospital burned down in either 1946 or 1947, somewhere around then. So this road probably hasn't had anything done to it since really the close of World War II. Island now is part of the Parks Department. It's used for basically recreation, hiking, and camping. It's closed right now this year. Only 2 islands are officially open, but private boaters are allowed on the island. I've been on this island a bunch of times, and there's a family of deer that live here, and I've run into them. So if we're lucky, we're going to see them. They also have wild turkeys, but then of course wild turkeys are everywhere now. But the deer, from what I understand, can actually swim from island to island. I didn't know that, and I gotta say, it's a good thing that I know that now, because if I were kayaking at 7 in the morning and I saw a family of deer in the water swimming, I'd probably freak out thinking there's some kind of earthquake coming. So apparently that's a natural behavior. We are all alone on this island. I'm the only human being on here right now. It's almost an eerie feeling. Okay, another man-made structure. So we're getting close. Looks like a cement foundation for something. That's a deer spot. You see these on the island. Oh, what do we have here? So even before the Children's Hospital was built, there were farmers on this island. And this is an old structure from the 19th century. this is 19th century ruin right in Boston Harbor. And we're so close to the city you can hear the airplane noise. It's pretty amazing that this all exists. Wow, look at this tree. So think of it. This tree has been growing so long to be this mature. That's how long this has been just a ruin, just all broken up. Okay, so as interesting as this isn't actually the ruin we're looking for. So let's keep looking. Ah, here we go. Look at that. So this is what's left of the Burrage Children's Hospital. I looked it up. It was used as a summer retreat for disabled children. And according to what I read, it was a unique design because it incorporated ramps instead of stairs. This was to accommodate the kids in wheelchairs, and so this was really designed ahead of its time for the kids to be able to use it. So some foundation here, and this would have gone all the way back up this way. All right, let's see what's down here. According to what I read, it was built around 1902. Burrage paid for all of it, so this was 100% philanthropy. And it lasted until 1917, at which time the US government, entering World War I, took the property and gave it to the Navy to be used for training. Anecdotally, I read that they also took Burrage's yacht, well, borrowed it, also for training. And when they returned it after the war, it was so damaged, Burrage actually sued. And from what I understand, he won a settlement. So how many people sue the government and win, right? So this, I'll watch my step here. Look at that. Now it's unclear after World War I just don't see a whole lot of information, but it does show that in 1940 it was reopened as a polio place, and Then it got shut down again because of World War II, and then it burned. So the short history of the Burrage Children's Hospital, and this is what's left. So this is a little bit of what the Parks Department has here on Bumpkin Island. Some benches. And this spot right here, great view. I'll show a couple of things here. So Hull comes around and sticks all the way out to there, and obscured by the fog is the Hull windmill. Actually it has two, but that's the one that sticks out on the ocean. And that's Grape Island, I'm sorry, Peddix Island right there. And that white structure, that's actually a church. It's one of the last ones that exist, but these were churches built on military bases during the war. And like I said, Tombolo right there. So island, 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 but it's all connected. So it's actually one big island. That's a Tombolo, and there's apparently another one over that way. Anybody who's seen the movie Shutter Island might recognize that a little bit. They used Peddix Island partially for the movie and superimposed mountains behind it. All right, let's see if we can find more things. Wild turkey tracks. Oh, there it is. See it? See it? That was a deer. Just jumped over in front of us. Let's see if we can get close. The squeak, squeak, squeak in my shoes are not helping. She's in there somewhere. All right, let's see if we can find one of her family members. So we're right here at the top of, or the northern part of Bumpkin Island. And you can hear the buoy right there, that green buoy in the distance. That's a noisemaker, so it's an aid to navigation. And when the waves kick up, the little hammers hit a bell, and that way it just alerts boats in the area that there's waves and how intense they might be. There's the Bumpkin Island Pier. The creaking is from that big boat that just came by. Those things really kick up a big wake. I have a kayak safety video, and I've put in inflatable bulkheads in my kayak because those boats kick up such a big wake, they can swamp right into your kayak. And if you don't have any type of watertight bulkheads, you could sink. So that's just one of the things you got to watch out for kayaking around here. I mean, listen to how much noise that pier is making because of those waves, just from that one boat. During the summer, this house right here is where parks employee, really volunteers, would stay sometimes a week at a time, and they'd switch them out. because the island's closed, everything's shut down here. But they would greet the ferry boat. So the public does have access to this when it's open by ferry. So you don't need to have your own boat to go on this island right here. Let's take a look at the pier. Really eerie sound, huh? Getting really down to low tide. Boston has some really almost extreme tides. It's a good 10 feet from bottom to top at times. And this is where you would arrive if you come by ferry boat. All right, let's explore some more. Let's see if we can find some more ruins. Okay, another piece of old foundation looks like. This tree is just growing right through it all. So we're above that part we saw earlier. This is pretty much the very top of Bumpkin, so this is the crest of the drumlin, if you will. Oh, campground. Alright, here's a marker. Oh, there's a picture of Burrage, and right there, that's what the hospital looked like. So this is what we were probably walking along right there earlier. It says here that he donated the island. I'm not so sure if donation was the right term, probably more like requisitioned. Let's have a look. So this may have been the main entrance right here. Look at all these bricks. Old I-beam. I was looking up Burrage Interesting guy, born 1859, lived till like 1931, which is a pretty remarkable time to live, considering you go from horseback and gaslight to electricity and automobiles. Saw a lot in his time. He was a successful attorney, corporate attorney, and became very wealthy with the gaslight business. Gaslight in the old days was competing with electric light. They actually had little pipes that run in houses. People who are in Boston, been in some of those old triple deckers, sometimes we'll actually see the little fixture sticking out. Gaslight, of course, went out with the fact that electricity was cheaper and also much safer. So he had by that time switched out to copper and became very, very successful in the copper business. In fact, he was nicknamed the Copper King. A company that he formed, Amalgamated Copper, would become Anaconda Copper, which was huge in South America. In fact, Anaconda would be nationalized in 71, right around that time, which got the attention of not only the corporate people but also the attention of the U.S. government, and some say that led, or at least was one of the factors that led to the support of a coup in Chile. Burrage had his friend and architect Charles Brigham build this structure. So the same guy who did a number of famous structures in Boston did this building right here, and the chateau that I showed earlier in the video. He did all this. He built this, and this is all that's left. Let's see what's over here. Piles and piles of these bricks. The reason why I'm not so sure that the donation was fully a donation was that on Calf Island, in my video of the camping trip over July 4th, I filmed a mansion's, well, it's a ruined mansion, the foundation, a famous industrialist out of Boston. Oh, right there. There's the tip of the ruins that we were on the other side. So we're on the top. But that mansion was the Cheney Mansion. And the U.S. government also took that mansion, and the Cheneys never got it back. So I'm sure there's more to the story, but lost some potential treasures during that time. All right, so we're heading back to the main path here. That was it. That's the ruins of the Burrage Children's Hospital. Not much to see, but a little piece of forgotten history right here in Boston Harbor. And hopefully you enjoyed this. I would love it if you could press like and subscribe. I need 988 more subscribers to hit my goal. So whatever you can do, that'd be great. And pass this along to anybody that you may think would enjoy this. Let's head on back. Before I end this episode, I'm going to show you the tombolo. Love that word, tombolo. Now that it's sticking up all the way out of the water. So now we could walk from Hull, the mainland, to Bumpkin. Notice how the water right here is much, much calmer than the water right here, since the prevailing wind is coming from this direction. Many times it's the opposite. So that's it. And these type of land formations, I thought, really never thought much of them until I was reading up about them. And there is one that's really interesting, and it connects India with Sri Lanka. Believe it or not, there's a 34-mile version of one of these that almost all of it is actually out of the water. Now that's a kayaking trip I'd like to try, and well, that would cost money, so I need likes and subscribes. Anyway, thanks for joining. See you next time. Tombolo, Tombolo.